Hello to all you vacation rental pioneers out there. My name's Matt Landau, and this is Unlocked, the podcast series that introduces you to the world's leading vacation rental innovators by diving deep into one single key, one specific best practice or technique that opened the door and changed the game. Mailie Green manages 3 vacation rental villas in Bali from her home in South Africa. And like any property manager, she's constantly on the lookout for ways to boost occupancy in the low season. She's always open to ideas that might result in a win for everyone involved. This particular technique that we talk about started with one skeptical, suspicious email, and it's turned into one of her regular booking channels, which simultaneously benefits the causes that she admires most. Here's me and Mailie. My name is Matt Landau, and this is Unlocked. And I was sitting at my desk in New Orleans, and suddenly someone put a bag over my head and put me into the trunk of a car and shipped me somewhere, and all of a sudden I'm here. And there's roosters crowing outside. Where are we?
We are in Bali. So we actually currently in Chandidasa in Bali, which is eastern Bali, a little sleepy fishing village on the east coast. And we're sitting right at the sea with our room flow swimming pool in front of us, starting a conversation.
And this is the life. You have been coming to Bali now for how many years?
Since we got married, since David and I got married. So that's nearly 20 years now.
And your company, Global Villas, is comprised of several different properties, is that right?
That's right. So because we love Bali and it's a great vacation rental market, we own 3 here in 3 different places. So we thought really that we need to cover the so-called Golden Triangle, which is Eastern Bali, Ubud, which is the spiritual heartland of Bali, and then Southern Bali, which is Seminyak, where all the restaurants and bars and beaches and things are. So we've got those 3 villas locally. And then in South Africa, because we are South Africans, we've got our own holiday rental in the Western Cape, which is right on the coast where we have a fantastic whale season. And then we also manage my stepmother's, we keep it in the family, my stepmother's property at a place called a resort called Sandomir, which is a golfing resort. And we manage her property there as well.
So vacation rentals are a thing for you. They are a livelihood in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And you travel with like a fan club? Who is this beautiful woman behind me?
This is my best friend, Kerry. So we've been best friends since we're 12 years old, and I just can't get rid of her. Every time I want to come to Bali, she's here.
And when you first came to Bali with David, what was your first reaction to Bali?
My first reaction was that I'd married the wrong man, because he had spent months telling me that we were going to go to Bali on honeymoon, because he had been here a number of times, I never had, and that I was just going to love it. And we landed at Denpasar, not the world's greatest airport or city. We then headed off to Kuta for the first night, and anybody who knows Bali will tell you that Kuta is the worst of Bali. And I looked around at this place and I thought, I have married the wrong man. If he thinks that I'm going to like this, he has no idea who I am. And I didn't say a word, obviously, because I'm newlywed. And then the next morning we headed out to Ubud. And it was just this sense of relief, firstly, and I just fell in love immediately. It's just the most amazing island, the most amazing place. And as you've commented on our trip here, incredible people, incredible culture. It's just so rich in so many ways that we just couldn't really resist it.
And in the end, turned out David was all right?
David was all right. We're still married 20 years later.
And he is
despite the night in Kuta.
Amazing. I had the pleasure of meeting him and trying many of his delicious cocktails.
Yes.
We had a conversation earlier in which you were sharing with me this kind of interesting thing that came about when someone contacted you off your HomeAway listing.
That's right.
Walk me through that first interaction.
So what happened is this chap got hold of me on the HomeAway listing, and it sounded like a complete and utter scam. He said that he was from an auction company and they were looking for high-end vacation rentals that they would auction off weeks at the vacation rental, and would we be interested in getting involved and being one of those villas?
Total scam.
And, we've had our number of scams with HomeAway. We've been personal victims of them. So I went to David and I said, what do you think? This just reeks of scam to me. And he said, you know what? You're aware that it could possibly be a scam. So just keep your guard up, get hold of him, find out what it is. It might be something, which I duly did. And then I said to him, why don't we chat on the phone? Because he's based in London. So we pretty much on the same timeline, London and Johannesburg. And he turned out to be the real McCoy. So we've since forged a relationship with him.
What was his deal?
It's actually an incredible opportunity, because what they do is they sell off auction lots to charities. So auction lots it can be anything. It could be Michael Schumacher's cap, but they choose to do holidays. So
it's a company.
It's a company.
Okay.
So that's exactly what they do. They put together packages that they sell off to the auction, to the charity, and then the charity auctions that package. What our package is a week's stay at one of our villas for 8 people. And then we throw in, because our model is slightly different and we have staff and we have catering and we include breakfast. We include breakfast in their deal. We include a Balinese feast for 8 people, which is a big traditional dinner of all the different Balinese dishes that are famous. We throw in massages. We do a day trip for 8 people.
So it's a whole package.
It's a whole package. And we give them a price. And we say...
Them being this company.
We give them the price and say, this is what we are happy with for you, that we want at the end of the day. They then put their markup onto the charity, and the charity then auctions it off for whatever they can sell it for.
And these are nice galas and things like that,
exactly.
Where people are bidding lots of money.
They're bidding lots of money for their favorite charities. So what tends to happen is that they're wealthy people. They're people who are looking for something that's easy. They arrive, they get transferred to our villa, they get food while they're there, they organize the day trip. So everything is put on for them. And they can do a maximum of 8 people, which is generally what our villas sleep.
I'd like to take a quick moment to share a little vignette that I keep coming back to. And it's the vacation rental movement, like a parade that's coming through town. As independent owners and managers, we can either jump in and join the action, or we can watch it pass by. And as you can hear from this conversation, joining in on the parade means innovating, adopting new technology, and doing things that haven't been done before. This podcast would not be possible without the support of Point Central, a company that epitomizes innovation. Their property automation services like smart locks and smart thermostats allow us to focus on the highest value jobs, in the process delivering a more seamless experience to the people that we work with. Head over to pointcentral.com/VRMB to learn more. That's pointcentral.com/VRMB. Thanks to the Point Central team for their leading role in our proud vacation rental parade. Now let's get back to the show. And how do you determine when they are going to stay?
Well, that's the beauty of it, because what I was nervous of initially is that they were going to say, we want all your high season weeks. But how it works is they sell the week without a date, and the person who buys it then comes back to them and says, we want X date, and they say, sorry, that's not available, but this is available. So really you're getting sales, if you can call it that, in weeks that you haven't filled anyway. So it works very well. Sometimes it is a high season week. If it's available, we've made the deal with them that they can take those high season weeks, because we're not discounting it to any huge extent. So it's still good business for us. And those people tend to spend money when they're with us. They eat a lot at the villa, they drink a lot at the villa, they spend time there. So it's good business from our perspective, even if they're there in a high season week.
And how long have you been doing this? When did that initial inquiry come in?
It's about 2 years now. Yeah.
And how many guests?
So we've probably sold about, between the 2 villas, probably about 12 weeks over the 2 years, which is it's proved to be very nice business for us. The actual company that we deal with are an absolute pleasure to deal with.
How do they pay you?
So they pay us 25% on confirmation. So we don't confirm the booking until they've paid us that 25%. And then they pay us 75% 6 weeks before arrival. So we've got all the money in full before they arrive.
But with the 25% up front, they still don't know when the guests are coming, right?
So it's kind of a simultaneous thing. So they'll say, these guests are looking at this date. We'll say, yes, that's available. They'll say, okay, fine, we'll book it. And we say, okay, we'll book it. And then the next day they pay us our money. So it's relatively instantaneous that we're getting that deposit.
And if you didn't have this great connection, if you were starting this from scratch, how would you begin finding a company like that?
I think you would just need to Google, because we have Googled and seen that there are a lot of them in America, actually.
What do you Google?
You Google, I can't even remember what we've Googled, but
wholesale auction?
Yeah, charity lots, fundraising lots, auction companies, that kind of thing. And they come up. But I do think that they're probably looking for a relatively exotic venue relative to their audience. So these are British people who would be keen to come to Bali. They probably wouldn't be as keen to go to the Cotswolds. It needs to be relatively exotic for them.
And it sounds like it also needs to be all-inclusive. That's helpful.
Well, interestingly, they know our model, and they know that our San Lemire property doesn't include food. And they've now asked us if we will be interested in doing the South African one. So that when I get back now, I've got to just give that some thought, because it is a slightly different model. So I'll need to chat to them around whether they would like that to be less expensive because there isn't food, or whether we would need to try and provide food for them in some shape or form. But it definitely is an easier sell when it's an all-inclusive package.
And it sounds like this auction lot house really does their homework in finding high quality prizes in order to ensure this standard.
They also actually do some hotels in Bali as well, but they've found that this works very well for them because it means that a family of 6, or what we've seen with guests who've come to us, is that often the people invite friends for nothing. So they say, you know what, we blew X amount on this anyway. We've got it. We paid for it. It went to our charity. We're happy we've spent the money. Would you like to join us? So it works quite nicely from their perspective as well.
I'd like to try to summarize the lesson here for my own purposes as well as for our listeners. You received a suspicious inquiry off of HomeAway, and you did not disregard it. You gave them a chance. Turned out he was from a company that was looking to pre-purchase weeks at the villa that would then be sold to charities and marked up, then auctioned off to the charity's supporters, which is to say the people who are ultimately purchasing the package at the charity would be staying at your vacation rental. It has been a profitable and successful partnership for everybody involved, because you get to book out basically weeks at full rate, and ultimately the guests have a wonderful stay and the charity wins. Is that an accurate summary?
Absolutely. Spot on.
Best friend, would you approve of that message?
I think it was excellent.
Excellent. Well, I would like to officially thank you for contributing those to a wonderful cause and for hosting me and my team here in Bali. It's been an exceptional lesson in hospitality.
It's been a pleasure having all three of you.
Should we have a drink?
Definitely. Well, David's not here to make the cocktail.
Oh, that's true.
But I'll attempt it.
Okay, fair enough. Something tells me we have someone on the premises who can figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. And to close, just a quick reminder of who made this episode possible. It's Point Central, the property automation experts of our industry. Head over to pointcentral.com/VRMB to learn more. And when you use that page, you'll become eligible for free HVAC analytics, which tells managers when the HVAC starts to misbehave before our guests get upset. This also makes property owners happy by taking care of the problem before it becomes too expensive. And if you're feeling cheerful, please also consider writing us a quick review in your podcast app. We read every single one of them, and we pass them along to our esteemed guests. This industry is growing up quickly, my friends. This industry is unlocked.